Welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Today is July 6th, 2020. And yes, it's already July. And so I hope you guys had a great uh, July 4th. And, uh, and so far, we are still alive. Today, we are going to look at the second part of the chapter entitled An Appeal for Our Students. I think it's only two parts we're gonna do because it's not a big chapter. And so we're gonna look at the second part of Appeal for Our Students. And today is actually Monday. Today is Monday, July 6th, 2020. So welcome to today's session. And it begins with some of these petted children are among the students who attend our college. Teachers and all who are interested in the students and would help them have an uninviolable task in seeking to benefit this class of untamed youth. They have not been in subjection to their parents at home and have no idea of having a head at school or in the homes where they board. What faith and patience and grace and wisdom are required to deal with these neglected, much to be pitied youth. The deceived parents may even take sides with the children against school and home disciplines. They would refrain others from doing the duty God requires of them and which they have grossly neglected. What wisdom from God is needed to deal justly and love mercy under these trying circumstances? How difficult to balance in the right direction minds that have been warped by this mismanagement. While some have been unrestrained, others have been governed too much and went away from the vigilant hands that held the reins of control harshly, leaving love and mercy out of the question. They have felt that they would not be to dictated to by anyone. They despise the very thought of restraint. And so what we have is we have two characteristics of student attending colleges. And when she says our college, she's speaking about um, the Seventh-day Adventist College. And we got two kinds of students attending our schools today. One is those that were not restrained, they were let loose, they did whatever they wanted to do. Um, and those that were under an iron rule, like the Roman Empire rule type. And they had no freedom to do anything. Apparently their parents were their own thoughts, I could say, or conscience. And so when these people come to college, one of them, actually, they are both basically the same thing, just on a different scales. They are both, uh, they have the same mentality. Once they get to college, it's the same thing. They are both gonna be out of the home and out of the church. If you think about it, many of our youth today, when they leave the home, they also leave the church. When they go to school, to universities, they make sure to get to a university that is hopefully in a different state than where they live. That way, parents cannot have control over them, and that's why when we are in school, you will be mingled. It appears to be like the Israelites and the mixed multitude, and you may get lost in that mixed multitude because some student may come to accomplish God's will, but because they are around with many students that don't like that idea, they might try to influence those that hate the idea of the duty that God has given them to do. They may try to molest, annoy those that would like to continue in doing God's will. And you're gonna get those two children in colleges, and so parents and students actually, because this isn't a pure for students. Um, but yet I have to take it to the parents because the parents were the one that raised them. They were the one to do their job right. But most of the time, most parents failed to do the right thing. So you get two, one that is gone unrestrained, and the other one was basically governed way too much. And so when they get out of the house, then they get out of hand. Should not those who have the difficult task of educating these young people and molding their characters have the faithful prayers of the children of God? Care, burdens, and weighty responsibilities must fall to the lot of the conscientious, God-fearing teacher, as well as that of the burden-bearing fathers and mothers in Israel who reside in Battle Creek. And of course, this is taking place in Battle Creek. All sincere Christians who value souls for whom Christ died will make earnest efforts to do all in their power to correct even the wrongs and neglects of the natural parents. The teachers will feel that they have a duty devolving upon them to present their pupils before the world and before God with symmetrical characters and well-balanced minds. But the teachers cannot bear all this burden and should not be expected to be alone responsible for the good manners and elevated morals of the pupils. Every family that provides rooms for them should have rules to which they must conform. It will not be doing them or their parents a kindness to allow them to form lawless habits and break or deface furniture. If they have exuberant spirits and pent-up energy, let them do let them do vigorous manual labor until weariness prepares them to appreciate rest in their rooms. That is a line that I'm gonna keep using now. So if your children have a hard time staying still, actually yesterday I was helping a friend of mine clean her house, and we were in her room, and as we were lifting up the bed, we looked at the bottom part, the wood was broken, and that's when we she realized that because her son kept jumping on the bed, it may have happened. And I said, yes, that's exactly what happened. But now, just in case you don't know, if you have children that have exuberant spirit, or in pent up energy. They're always in the hype emotion type. Not happy, but more likely in a in a they're ready to do. They're always agitated in a sense. Let them do vigorous manual labor. So get them to start cutting the grass. Get them to start mowing the lawn. Get them to start washing their dishes. I guess if they are not tall enough, then that's a different story. But let them start vacuuming. Let them start doing many more things in the home, and they're gonna get tired, and then they're gonna like the idea of resting. But if you don't, then all that energy is gonna be used in the bad way, and that's what exactly they're trying to tell us to not let that happen. The rooms of some of the students last year bore an unfavorable record of the rumors. If students are coarse and rude, their rooms frequently make this fact apparent. Rockless sports, boisterous laughter, and late hours should not be tolerated by those rooms. If they allow this conduct in the students, they do them a serious wrong and make themselves in a great degree responsible for the misconduct. The rooms of students should be frequently visited to see if they are favorable to health and comfort, and to ascertain if all are living in accordance with the rules of the school. Any remissness should be pointed out, and the students should be faithfully labored with. If they are insubordinate and will not be controlled, they are better off at home, and the school is better off without them. Our college should not become depraved for the sake of a few lawless students. The colleges in our land, and are many. The colleges in our land are many of them. The colleges in our land are many of them places where the youth are in danger of becoming immoral and depraved through these evil associations. So, um, sometimes it's a good idea to kick some students out. Yes, I must say it straight up like that. Sometimes it's a good idea to just kick them out of the school because they are not ready for that. They will not become better. Most of the time, they will not be changed. They want to be insubordinate. They want to be lawless. They want to do lawlessness. They hate authority. They become very refractory, and of course, because they are also refractory, they become very belligerent toward authority and others. And so, these kind of students, we should not have them around. If they're not willing to change and to conform according to the rules of the school, then they should be out of the school. The associations of our students is an important matter and should not be neglected. Many who come to our college are professed Christians. Special interest should be manifested in these, and they should be encouraged in their endeavors to live a Christian life. They should be guarded as far as possible from the temptations that meet the youth, whichever way they may turn. To those who have had years of experience, the temptations which overcome these young people may seem so light and trivial that they will withdraw their sympathies from the tempted and tried ones. This is wrong. Their own life and early experience may have been even more varying than those of the youth they would censure for their weakness. Many who profess to be followers of Christ are weak in moral power. They have never been heroes of the cross and are easily attracted from their religions to God by selfish pleasures and amusements. These persons should be helped. They should be helped. They should not be left to chance in choosing their companions and roommates. Uh-huh. Those who love and fear God should bear the burden of these cases upon their souls and should move discreetly in changing unfavorable associations. Christians youth who are inclined to be influenced by irreligious associates should have for companions those who will strengthen good resolutions and religious inclinations. A well a well disposed, religiously inclined youth, and even a professor of religion, may lose his religious impression by association with one who speaks lightly of sacred and religious things and perhaps ridicules them, and who lacks reverence and conscientiousness. A little leaven, a little leaven may leaven the lump. Some are weak in faith, but if placed with proper roommates whose influence is strong for the right, they may be balanced in the right direction, obtain a valuable religious experience, and be successful in the formation of Christian character. So when you get to college, students, when you get to college, those of you that might be listening, maybe I don't know, next week, 2 weeks from now, okay, I guess it's running again. So those students, those of you that are gonna be listening maybe to this, possibly maybe 2 weeks from now, a month or 2 months, maybe next year, or maybe in 5 years, I don't know. Uh, when you get to college, if you're a Christian student, when you get to college, look around before you make any friends. Look around and see who has the value that you hold. Meaning this, and listen to the conversations of the other students, of those that live in the dorm. See if they are lightly taking God or seriously taking God. Meaning, do they have any other gods before them? Judge them by the Ten Commandments. Do they have any other God before God? Do they have graven images like Mary type, Jesus type, whatever? um, nativity scene, all of those. Do they take God's name in vain? So, for instance, they call themselves Christians, but yet they are cussing like sailors, or they like to say "OMG" all the time. Do they disrespect other people? Look at them, see what kind of conversation they have, and then weed out those that do not have that mentality that you have, those that do not seriously love God. That way, you get the best in college. I would that our brethren and sisters would watch for souls as they that must give an account. My mind has been deeply exercised upon this subject. I would urge upon those who profess Christ the necessity of putting on the whole armor, then work for our youth who attend Battle Creek College. They may not need sermons and long sensuous lectures as much as they need genuine interest. Let them know by your works that you love them and have a care for their souls. If you would manifest for the tender youth now coming to Battle Creek, who are thrown into the very arms of the church, one half the care you have for your temporal interest, you might bind them to you by the strongest bonds of sympathy, and your influence over them would be a power for good. So, if you would manifest for the tender youth this half the care you have for your temporal interest, and people like their temporal eh, uh, belongings more than they like God nowadays. And so the amount of effort you put on your temporal interest, if you could put half that amount of effort into the young today, they will become great Christians. Not even all the effort, half. So that means we don't even put any effort in them whatsoever. And I think that's why we have a big issue in the church today. Um, we have we don't have that much interest for the youth. They come in, they come in, they go out. We don't really care about it. We don't put principles for them to live by so they can be useful for in society in the future. And I think that's on us. We have to do better than that. And so parents and students, when you get to college, remember, um, weed out students from your circle. Choose wise companions, and God will actually bless you. Uh, but if you choose to do whatever you want, then that's a different story. That's a different end. I would like you to read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. So, anyways, today we just looked at the last part of appeals for our students. And today is Monday, July 6th, 2020. I hope to see you again on Wednesday. And if I don't see you on Wednesday, I hope to see you when Jesus Christ comes the second time. Until then, bye for now.